Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to It Could Only Happen to Me. Well, today's story is about someone that I actually know. It's actually about my mum, so this should be interesting. Anyway, this takes place in the early 90s, so 92, 93. Okay, quite a few years ago. Now, my mum has holiday apartments in a village on an island on Crete. It's a family-run place, so it's basically family run. The apartments are for families, parents, kids, so on. So this takes place in the middle of August. So it's the height of the season. It's busy everywhere. It's packed. And back in those days, there weren't so many hotels and apartments available and all of that. So you can imagine it was chaos then. She had a booking for two young girls, early 20s, I think from England. Not sure about that. Just going to say probably from England. Anyway, so these two girls, they come on holiday in their 20s, and obviously they've come in the 90s, early 90s, to Crete. On Crete Island, what are they here for? Sun, sea, sex. And good for them. That's what they want. That's what they're on holiday for. But they booked into a family hotel, which is the problem. So anyway, so these girls go out, they're going to have fun, they're enjoying themselves, they're on holiday, why not? They're going to the beach, everything, having fun. I think by night 3, they'd met up with a couple of local boys and they were hitting off pretty well. That's what they came for, sun, sea and sex. Okay. So they meet up with these boys, have fun, and they bring them back to the apartment. Now their apartment was on the top floor. So we're looking at top floor here from the parking, about 15 metres high. Okay. So they're staying in the apartment. They bring the boys back. And they go and sit on the balcony and they start drinking. They're having their gin and tonics, their vodkas and oranges and God knows what they're drinking. And they're laughing and giggling and having a good time. The only problem is it's 1 o'clock in the morning in a block with families. So the next day, the other customers come down and they complain to my mum, Mary, and they say, oh my God, we couldn't sleep all night. The kids were up, the babies were crying, blah, blah, blah. Can you please do something about it? We're not happy. So she goes, knocks on the door, sees the girl, says, excuse me, ladies, I'm very sorry too, but I've had complaints from all the clients and you need at night time to keep the noise down. You're free to do whatever you want, bring anyone around, but after midnight, please keep the noise down, especially, because there's kids, there's families, so on. Girls, yes, sorry, Mary, won't do it. Yeah, okay. Next night, same story. They get home at 1 o'clock in the morning, absolutely pissed with the two new boys, okay? Sitting on the balcony, again, gin and tonics, vodka and oranges, God knows what they're drinking, whiskies and martinis and having fun, laughing, giggling, enjoying themselves. But again, everyone else in the building is kept awake all night, kids, old people, whatever, everything you can imagine. So the next day they come down and they complain again and they say, Mary, second night in a row, we haven't been able to sleep because of the situation there. So again, second day, she says to the girls, listen, please, you're disrupting the whole building. No one can sleep. They've got young kids. Some of them are elderly people. Some of them have got young kids. They need their sleep. After midnight, please be quiet. Oh, I'm very sorry, Mary. It won't happen again. Next night, exactly the same thing happens again. They turn up, 2 o'clock in the morning, pissed as a fart, 4 of them, sit on the balcony, drinking their vodkas, their gin and tonics, whatever they're drinking, blah, 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 having a good time, laughing, giggling, and keeping the whole building up. So my mum's lost it by this point. She's told them 3 times. She's warned them. So she goes out into the car park. She looks up and she shouts and she says, girls, I've asked you 3 times, please be quiet and respect the other tenants in the building. One of the boys, Greek local boys that these girls have picked up, hears her and he thinks, who's she to speak to us like that? So he leans over the balcony. He says to her, what are you moaning about? You jealous? Do you want some of this? Oh my God. The poor boy, biggest mistake of his life he could have ever made. Biggest. Now let me just describe. My mum is she's a little Greek woman, 1.5 meters maximum, but with the fury of the Hulk. So she's standing outside, looking over the balcony. She's had no end of complaints about these girls bringing these boys back and making a noise and blah, blah, blah. And on top of that, she's had this little shit insult her by saying to her, "Are you jealous? Would you like some of this?" Oh my God, you have never seen anything so, oh my God. So, guy's hanging over the balcony, looking over, and he's carrying on saying something to her. God knows what he's saying at her at this point because she's not even listening. She is running 3 steps at a time. I mean, she's tiny. She's literally jumping, flying up these steps, right? Gets to their front door, goes to knock, door's open. She flies straight in, goes out onto the balcony, ready to say to them, "Shut up or leave." The boy is still bending over the balcony, looking for her. So she grabs him by the ankles, hangs him over the balcony to his death, 15 metres in the air. He's been held literally by his ankle, his head 15 metres from the ground, by this tiny little Greek furious woman. Oh my God. He shit himself. He peed himself. I don't think he shit himself, but he did pee himself anyway, apparently. The 2 girls and his friend were like in panic mode. They were trying to grab him, like, don't drop him, don't drop him. We're so sorry anyway. Finally, they grabbed him and they pulled him over the balcony and they got him back. He didn't die. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this conversation now. Should be in prison. Anyway, didn't happen. Poor girls were so apologetic. "We're so sorry, Mary. This won't happen again. We won't do it again." But the boys, they left. They were in their underpants sitting on the balcony because it was hot, summer, blah, blah, blah. They'd taken their clothes off, taken shoes. They left in their pants. They went running down the mountain, hid somewhere in the village, never to be seen again, here anyway, in their pants. They'd left everything, their wallets, their shoes, everything. They were scared shitless. Well, no need to say that the next day the girls came down, brought them a big bunch of flowers and were very apologetic. And from then on, they didn't actually make any noise. They would even take their shoes off at the main entrance. So they would tiptoe up to their apartment 3 flights of steps. Well, hope you enjoyed this story. I enjoyed telling it to you and look forward for more.